So welcome or welcome back to Wide Gaming. Today we are back with a letter from the Generation Zero development team. And this one is all about the tactical response update, and they've labelled it a look back. Which is good news, because it means that they've heard our feedback, they've looked at it, and they're taking things into consideration. Now, unfortunately, we still don't have a roadmap, but there is a little bit of news on a roadmap in this dev letter. So we're going to go over it, pick it apart, see what it says. Hopefully there's some good stuff in here. Hopefully we have news to a next up-and-coming update, but we shall see. If you're a fan of Generation Zero, or more importantly, survival games, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and stick around because we upload content here daily. Now, first off, let's jump in and see what the team have to say. Greetings, survivors. Since we released the tactical response update, you've given us a lot of valuable feedback. As we mentioned in our previous letters, this update didn't have as much new content as many fans have come to expect from us. To reiterate, this was because we're working on a big feature that will be added to the game with our next major content release. The date of which we're not quite ready to announce yet. Once we do, we'll be able to talk more about the rest of this year's plans in the form of a new roadmap. But until then, we'll need some more work, so let's go through the insights and what we've had and what we're going to do from here. Now, first off, let's break down that first paragraph. Now, it's good that they've listened to the feedback, but the issue with the content on the update wasn't the fact that it was small content. It was the fact that it was pretty much a blatant lie. We were told that these missions were going to take around about 20 minutes, and then when it comes to actual launch, they took, some cases, not even 2 minutes. And they passed that off here a little bit later in the letter as because that's where endgame players and we're all so good at it. Which, yes, a lot of people that play this are good at the game, and you know by this point now how to deal with the machines quickly and efficiently, which is good, and that's a part of the game. But the missions are really, really short, too short as a matter of fact, and they are once again weekly missions. But, well, we'll see. Now, the roadmap, that is something that has been teased for so long. We're almost 7 months into 2023 and we haven't got a roadmap. At this point, just forget it. It's absolutely pointless. If they can't even give us just a little bit of a tease, if this update is so big and is something that the community really, really wants, give some teasers about it. Hype up the community. You don't need to give a release date. You can still announce what you're working on without giving a release date. And I think that'll just keep players optimistic and hopeful, but we'll see. Now, this first part is all about the procedural missions. Overall, procedural missions were received well, giving players something new to do on a regular basis. However, the veterans among you feel that the currently available missions are too short, being completed with a couple of minutes with endgame gear. We also saw that the missions are spawning more often than initially planned, activating once a day with the mission type on a weekly rotation, instead of featuring one mission a week. We recognise that you do like this cadence, and we would like to add some more variety in it, but they are intended to be on a weekly rotation, so we'll change this back to the original design in the future. See, now that paragraph makes no sense to me. I do not understand. Whether it's community, whether it's the team that write these letters or just the community manager, I don't know. But whoever's doing these letters recently really needs to sort it out, because it's ridiculous. They lie in these letters and they completely say one thing at the top and then something else at the bottom. And as they say here, you know, we're listening to your feedback and we see that you like these daily missions, but we're going to change them back to being weekly. No, people like the daily missions. Leave it as a daily mission and let the rotation be weekly. Absolutely ridiculous. Why would you do that? It makes no sense whatsoever. I enjoy the missions. If they'd said to us they're just short and sweet, something to keep you entertained, it wouldn't have bothered me at all. But saying that they're 10 to 20 minutes long, that was the kick in the teeth. So I think these missions are great. I do enjoy the procedural missions. They're fun. It's something a little bit different, and it's just a nice little play bit. But veterans with endgame gear, you can do this with 1 crown weapons as long as you know the tactics and you just run around. Even a fresh starter to the game, give them a set of weapons, they'll be able to do this in 5 minutes tops. So yeah, it's the missions are great. I just think they could do with being a little bit longer, adding some heavier machines in like tanks or something, and then leaving them as daily missions instead of changing them back to weekly. Now, they plan to have more mission types in the roster later this year, and when they do, they'll keep the feedback in mind. This update was a way for us to add complex new functionality to the game whilst keeping the first iteration slim so we can detect and identify problems in the new system more easily. Now that we've found issues and with how they're scheduled and read the feedback that you provided, we're ready to design even more fun and engaging missions with appropriate rewards for you to enjoy, which is great. To be fair, I thought the rewards were fine. I wasn't expecting anything big because it is that these missions, for me personally anyway, are more for just a bit of fun. I don't go after them for the rewards. I can get the rewards relatively easy. You know, you go out and you do a bit of farming. But yeah, the missions are just something fun to take up time, which is great. And then they've got a little bit about the tactical equipment pack. We're delighted to see the reception of the new DLC has been great. Seeing your love for these has reflected in our community, and it is a pleasure for us devs. We've seen some reports about the homing turret not hitting targets as expected, and its rockets flying around in circles. These issues will be resolved as soon as possible. Now, great. You know, that's fine. I absolutely love that. But as we scroll through the letter, there's more issues that they found and they fixed. But we're still not going to get a fix, which I don't understand. And now next up is the hacker skill. Now many of you may have noticed that the hacker skill was fixed and buffed back up to what it should be actually working at. Which is great. Absolutely love that. So it's received a buff, but it slipped through the cracks on the patch notes. The hacker skill now has a shorter cooldown with no limit how many machines can be hacked at the same time. We appreciate the enthusiasm to those who have already discovered this, and we see your hacker mains. This change was done because many players found the skill underwhelming due to its limited usage and long cooldown. We're planning to address other grievances players have been having with some of our skills later this year, but we need to do it in a properly balanced way, so it'll take some time. For now though, enjoy the hacking world. Now they've found a lot of bugs, and I say newly discovered bugs. They weren't newly discovered, they were added in with the update. Some of you, especially players who have reached endgame, will have noticed that shock ammo doesn't properly tether on machines anymore, only on terrain. This is a bug and not an intended change. It will be fixed for the next update and we'll have more information on that soon. Furthermore, we've seen reports of players receiving highly unexpected amounts of schematic points. I'm getting that one and the shock ammo one. They're both annoying, but you know, it doesn't affect the game. You can still play. But they were able to identify that one, and that one has also been fixed. But once again, will be rolled out on the new... Yeah, makes no sense whatsoever. And then the tactical response update, there was a Reaper loot bug, which was a pain in the arse. But yeah, it's now been fixed, and that was pushed out as a quick hotfix. So, yeah, they were able to put out the hotfix, but that came out on Xbox and PC. I don't know why nothing had come out on PlayStation, whether there was an issue there or not. I'm not 100% sure. But still, why did they just put those fixes out and then leave the other bug fixes? Put everything in one hotfix. Or add hotfixes as you find things. That'll make players a lot happier. Do you know what I mean? Especially something game-breaking. Well, not exactly game-breaking, but something annoying, like the schematic points or like the shock ammo. Add that in as a hotfix as soon as possible. But other than that, they've said that the main feedback points we've gathered since the last update, and they're keeping their ears open for more. Let us know if you have any additional questions or input. Until then, let's get to work. We appreciate each and every one of you, the Generation Zero dev team. Great letter. It's great that they're acknowledging the problems. They put out a letter to acknowledge them, and they've said that they are working on fixes. So that, to be fair, communication, brilliant. Absolutely love that. So hats off to the team for that one. They've communicated the issues, and they're going to work on them. But still, these letters here, you know, saying that we understand that you like these daily missions, but we're going to change it back anyway. That's a kick in the teeth again. So, yeah, a little bit silly. A little bit silly on that point. But overall, hopefully pretty good. Hopefully we do get to see a hell of a lot more dev letters like this and some fixes. I'm going to hang around. I'm hoping to see a next update. Hopefully it is good. We shall see. But, you know, if we have another update like this one, then I think that will definitely be it for me and Generation Zero. Hopefully not, because I do love the game. Absolutely love it. And this video has, hopefully it's come across a lot more positive than the previous one, because this is a positive point, really. They've acknowledged the problems, they've communicated the problems, and they're working on fixes. So, brilliant. But go back to the old dev letters I don't know who's writing these. If it is you, Carney, go back to the old ones. Show a little bit of gameplay. Show what's going on. Give the players something to be hyped for. Don't just say you're working on something. That's pointless. That doesn't make people excited. It's an absolute joke. Show people something. Even if it's just a little screenshot. We don't need a date. I don't care about a date. If you're working on something that's really cool, I don't want a date. I just want to see it. I think it'd be really cool, and it would give the community something to be excited about. Do you know what I mean? Show people what's going on. I think that'd be great. But this letter, communication from you guys, absolutely fantastic to see that. Hopefully this is something great and something that continues going forward. But we shall see. For now though, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Wired. You've been awesome. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.